Hey y'all. Welcome to Frettin' the Small Stuff for April 27th, 2026. The Ace Frehley's birthday edition. Last year, when I did this, it was a festive time. I talked about his inspiration, I think. This year he's gone. And I think if I talk about that a little too long, I will just break down. So I will tell you a different story, which is I wanted a Les Paul because Ace Frehley played a Les Paul. And then once I started reading about Les Pauls, I realized I was never going to be able to afford a Les Paul as a, 10-year-old, 12-year-old. I bought my first guitar when I was probably 14 or 15. And I got it from a classmate of mine named John Levine, whose uncle had given him a Les Paul copy. And it was black with white binding, kind of the inverse of this one, made by Cortez. And I have no idea what they are. Are they an offshoot of somebody? Is it an Ibanez clone? I had no idea. All I knew is that the shape was right, and I could turn it up loud, and it was perfect. I mowed yards for months to buy that guitar. I paid him in installments. I have the final receipt in a plastic baggie in a box in that room over there. And I played it in my garage and sweated out there and just loved that thing. And then a friend of a friend came over and said, can I play it? And I didn't know any better. And I said, no. But we were hanging out in the garage because there was a drum kit there and a guitar with an amp that went to 11. And I decided I was going to go check the mail. And I put my guitar down in the stand. And I get halfway to the mailbox and I hear somebody pick up the guitar and start playing with it. And then I hear this catastrophe, this clatter, this noise, this cacophony that I can't describe it, but I can still hear it. And I come back into the garage and laying pickups down like this on top of my 3 pedals that I had at the time was my guitar, and it was just screaming with feedback. And I pick it up and there's this massive crack in the body. It was completely destroyed because when I picked it up, I realized that the crack had gone through the pickup and into the other side. Just completely beside myself. So that was the end of my first Les Paul copy. I kept mowing yards. I saved up again. I went to the guitar store, and they had a Hondo offset Flying V that looked very similar to what the shape that Randy Rhoads was playing. His was polka dotted, or his was white with binding like that. So I bought that, and I played that, and the intonation was terrible. The neck was terrible. It wouldn't stay in tune because, of course, it had a tremolo. It had a massive chip off the bottom. So anyway, I think those are definitely my first 2 guitars, and I don't have them today. But I think every other guitar I've ever bought, I still have. There's one Kalamazoo knockoff something that I sold when I was desperate for money in San Francisco. I sold that, and I sold a cherry red Jackson. Anyway, but everything else I've kept. But this, again, is my first legit Les Paul. So that's a long way of saying I'm not going to play any Ace Frehley riffs today because like I said, it would just be I don't know. A, I can't do it like him. And B, thanks to him, it led me to other places, and so that's where I want to get to. While I was listening to my shuffle today, this Hot Snakes record came up, and this song that has this really interesting, like repeating kind of arpeggio thing. And it reminded me of two things. First was another big inspiration on Les Pauls and why I have one. Obviously, iconic riff. But what they were doing was this kind of repeating motif, and I really liked the kind of chiminess of that, and the it sounded like they were using neck pickups, and so I wanted to come up with some sort of repeating pattern. You'll have to bear with me because this is not going to be a quick one, I don't think, today. Because to get to something that I want to do, much like the riff that I was talking about the other night, I'll come up with like something close, and then I'll probably go away and work on it more. But that's just the idea I'm going for today. So we'll see where we end up. It's all gonna end up sounding like Sweet Child of Mine, isn't it? Let's just switch the pickups. Could I jump to that any slower? No, I don't think so. Walk down somewhere. Let's do something different. I'll work on that though. thanks for walking through those explorations with me. Happy birthday, Paul Daniel Freely. I hope you'll join me tomorrow. We're almost done with International Guitar Month, so Frettin' the Small Stuff is coming to the end, coming to an end for 2026. But thanks for being here. Hope to see you tomorrow.